everyone, it's Valentine and you're watching another Supernatural review, and this is season 7 episode 20, The Girl with Dungeons and Dragon Tattoo. I think it's something like that. If you're new here, I do recap and review every single episode of Supernatural, so let's get into it. So this is Charlie's first episode, and if this is your first time watching Supernatural, like, Charlie's like a character that we all love. Like, she, obviously doesn't become a main character, but she is, in future seasons, in a lot of episodes, and I won't reveal too much more about her and give it away. But I don't know if that was like the writer's intention with this episode or whatever, but this is not the first time that the writers write characters that we fall in love with. Like, the writers are so good about this, where it's like a first episode of a character and they just like write a character that we would love so much. Like, they're just so good with that. And I feel like maybe their intention is like, you know what, if the people like this character, if they see a possibility in the character in the future, they don't want to close the door. And so, that's why the purpose of writing these characters that we would like is, to have the possibility of using them in the future. And so it's not, maybe they don't go in tension being like, we're going to use her or him, whatever, for X amount of episodes, but they go in tension being like, we'll see what happens, maybe in the future. And so, I don't know, I don't think we see Charlie in the next 2 episodes, because clearly if she is in at least one of the next 2 episodes, then they obviously, were planning to use her more clearly. But I don't think she is, unless she is. Oh my god, guys, I can't remember. I don't know. So this episode was very serialized, and even though, like, technically, it could fall under episodic because it was like, a single storyline, it was super serialized, and I myself am calling it serialized. I also felt like this was an okay episode. I can't really put it on the best list or the worst list, and I actually recently looked at that list and I have only 4 episodes on the worst list. And usually, what I do is like, I put like, episodes when I feel like whatever they are, and then like later after the season's over, I go back and like, confirm all of them. And so a lot of times, there's more than 5 or whatever on the worst list and the top list, and then I just like remove the bottom ones. But I need at least 1 more on the bad list, and we only have a few episodes left, so we'll see. I feel like there's been a lot of like okay episodes this season that I've just kind of been like, I don't feel right putting it on the worst list. But I guess if I can't come up with 1 more, I'm gonna have to put the episode from last week of Grave Importance, or Grave, what? Yeah, I think of Grave Importance, the one that I like, the video is so short because I don't even remember what happened in that episode. So as I said, they wrote Charlie as a really likable character. Also, I think what was confusing about this episode was it was going like back and forth between like times that happened, kind of in a way. And like, sometimes it's cool to try that. I feel like it would have worked in this episode, but they didn't do it well. Like, I don't know where it went wrong, and I feel like it probably went wrong in the writing process, that it wasn't like the smoothest or makes sense like when they transition back and forth and they try their best to fix it in editing. That's how I feel like it is, and I don't know, I feel like, and then like, this is an okay episode, but I feel like I was getting confused and like it was confusing me about like the back and forth. And that's the thing, with those things, they're supposed to be a little bit confusing. They're supposed to like kind of intrigue you more because you're like, oh wait, how did they whatever. But it was a little bit too confusing. It did not work. But it was kind of great that like, they needed this character, they needed some kind of character, and the writers wrote her as this type of character because of what this episode is about. And I feel like it's hard to say, like, this episode didn't need to happen technically. Like, that's the thing with these I guess more so with episodic, where it's like, does that really need to happen? But with this episode, like, they wanted it to be something where Winchesters hack into Dick Roman, right? And so maybe in the idea process, they were like, what if Dick Roman tries to hack into them first, and then they find the hacker, the Winchesters, and bring that person to their side. And I guess that's what it is. So because I kind of forgot stuff. Maybe like at the end they retrieve something, right? So maybe that's important. They retrieve this thing, and so they were kind of figuring out like, how are we gonna have them retrieve this thing? I guess this idea worked. But good job to the Winchesters for, being able to convince Charlie and get her back to their side. And then this episode also like had a few funny moments, which I think was good. and helped and worked at correct and good times and stuff. Bobby's a ghost, and Bobby's being more of a ghost, and he's trying to use his ghost powers, and like I understand why this is a storyline. Like I feel like it makes sense that it's a storyline. Like, you know, as I said, like Bobby's the third mainest character in the show, and for him, when he died, for him to be a ghost, like kind of makes sense. And so, you know, we always have the question, like, why did they kill off Bobby? And I still feel like I don't have a solution, like I don't have an answer. I feel like them being like, we want to see Bobby as a ghost is not good enough reason. But despite whatever reason they did do it, like to have Bobby a ghost, like makes sense. And that was like a smart move and the right move to make. And so it is like another storyline. And like, I don't know if I could be like, I wish it was better written or something, because I don't really know. I feel like it's a good idea. It kind of, will it play out the best? I don't know. And that's kind of how I feel, where it's like, I don't know if it's playing out the best, but it's the right move to do it. It makes the sense to do it. I just don't know if it's exactly working. And I'm kind of not exactly sure how it exactly ends, but it's there. It's something. And yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna have much else to say, so I'm gonna end it here. But you know, comment below your thoughts, like what your thoughts about Charlie, you know, if you thought this episode made sense, your thoughts about Bobby being a ghost, whatever it might be. So thank you guys for watching, like, comment, subscribe, and bye.